Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Amanda, and I am so glad that you clicked on this video. I am a neurodivergent woman. I have autism, ADHD, aphantasia, and a memory disorder called SDAM. And I have videos about all of these topics on a different playlist. I'm laughing at myself because a couple things are going through my head right now. One is that's kind of sort of the script I say at the beginning of every video, but I was like trying to get through it fast because I'm really excited about this video. I've actually had the thought about it for over a week, but I've just, instead of thinking out loud like I normally do, I've been trying to put it together a little bit more. But you know what, guys? Y'all know me by now, my subscribers. I do better when I'm just off the cuff. So I'm just feeling it tonight. I'm like, don't overthink it, Amanda. Just do the video. And then the next thought was, I don't want to put makeup on. Well, guess what? Makeup is actually a form of masking, and I'm working on unmasking. Now, does that mean never wear makeup? Absolutely not. If you want to wear makeup and you feel excited to wear makeup and makes you feel good that day, no matter what your gender is, then wear the makeup. I actually did have makeup on earlier today, but throughout the day, who knows, it's gone. So, and it's even just so much more appropriate because today's video is about representation matters, and autistic representation in media is so incredibly important. And obviously I'm talking about autism today, but representation of just any marginalized group in media is important. Okay, so I know some of my autistic friends out there are really into history. History is like your special interest, and you're going to be like so excited about this. I am not. The examples that I want to give today are not necessarily going to be super historically accurate. I'm going to be using these as an analogy. So forgive me of any indiscretions that I have with history per se, and think more metaphorically, which a lot of autistic people struggle with metaphors, but I'm telling you this is a metaphor. Okay, hold on. What was the second thing? Oh yes, the other thing that I really want to say is that this idea is not my original idea, but everybody's going to put their own spin on different things. I really wish that I could give credit to the creator that I first saw this way of talking about autism and representation. I saw it several months ago on a TikTok video. I saved the video because I loved it so much, but that creator, I think, deleted it. I cannot find the video. I don't know who the creator was. So if you have seen this talked about on TikTok, you know, a lot of videos go viral on TikTok. I would give credit if I knew who it was. I'm going to be using my own words. I saw this video months ago, and as you'll know, I have a memory disorder. I'm not saying it verbatim from that creator. Now, let's talk about why representation in media is so important, and my historical analogy that I was alluding to. So, way back when Europeans were, chilling out in Europe, and some explorers went and did their exploring thing. And they went to faraway lands and came across crazy wild beasts that they'd never seen before. And they did not have cameras. Now, again, I know a lot of them really were really good artists and would have been able to draw on the spot. But in this case, for whatever reason, that's not what happened. And these explorers took down descriptions of some of these fantastical animals that they saw. And then they went back home to Europe and they told their friends and family and some artists about these beasts that they saw. So I'm going to put up a photo right here of a leopard. And so this explorer essentially went and was like, I saw this four-legged animal with a big, strong head and a long tail, and it had spots. And I'm looking down at a picture because I can't see it here because I'm going to put it here in editing. Anyway, and this leopard had tiny little ears and a flat face, which I don't think leopards actually do have flat faces. But anyway, so this artist drew this leopard, and then let's say it's the same explorer because, we're just storytelling here. And he's like, but I've got more. I saw a whale, and this is what the whale looked like. It was giant. It was bigger than a boat, and it was like part fish, and it had fins. And so the artist took down the description and came up with this. And next, you are not going to believe the animal that I came across. It is a hippopotamus. And this hippopotamus lives in the water. So it's like part fish, but it's got a weird snout. What is that on this hippo? I don't even know. And it's got a tail. And I mean, if you were to see this picture and be told it was a hippopotamus, you would. Okay, anyway. These are actual legit drawings from history. So here's a drawing of a sloth, same thing. It was described verbally, and this is the artist's rendition. Now this one's actually really cute, a snail, which I figured that Europe had snails. Does Europe not have snails? But oh my gosh, this thing is cute. And look, its little antennas came out looking like ears, but snail. Okay, one more. A fierce crocodile. Out of all of them, I think this one is probably the most accurate depiction. But here's my point. These artists drew these animals, and they got published in books. They might have got printed, they got circulated around. Now, a third person who did not hear the person's description and has never seen this hippopotamus before in life comes across this drawing, studies it, and goes, this is a hippopotamus. If I see a hippopotamus out in the wild, I will be able to look at this, point to it, and go, that is a hippopotamus because I have seen a hippopotamus, right? Are they ever going to see this hippopotamus out in the wild? I don't think they are going to, because this hippopotamus is an account of a count and doesn't look anything like a real hippopotamus, right? Okay. By now you probably know where I'm going. Autism. We have autistically coded and sometimes autistically identified characters in media. And that is great. But even myself, when I saw these characters, I related to them so much. I've always, my favorite character in any movie, show, or book has always been the autistic character because I identified with them. But I never thought that I was autistic because of what the media showed me. And I still, even though I related to them, I did not see myself and any of these characters. And that's why media representation is important. People see characters like Sheldon Cooper, who are rude, much more stubborn than anything, cannot grasp any social. A lot of times they're savant. And yeah, there probably are autistic people out there who are exactly like Sheldon Cooper. I'm not saying that isn't so, but what I'm saying is that just because Sheldon Cooper might be an autistically coded character, he doesn't represent autism completely. So people will say, I have seen autism. I know what autism looks like. You are not autistic. And they will point to late high masking identified people and tell us that we are not autistic, because they have believed what the media has told them about autism. And their nephew is diagnosed autistic, and he looks a lot more like how Sheldon Cooper looks. So that verifies in their mind, this is what autism looks like. But autism is a spectrum, and we've talked about that in my Autism 101 video. It's not a linear spectrum. It's a circle spectrum of autistic traits. And every single trait and diagnostic criteria that an autistic person has can be somewhere in that circle. I lost my train of thought. It can be on such a roll, and then it just cuts out like that. Okay, let's see if I can find my tangent. So we're talking about Sheldon. Oh, yes. Okay. So I started watching a couple episodes of Heartbreak High. I think I would have liked it, when I was a teenager, but it's just not my genre anymore. There's a character on Heartbreak High that is named Quinny, and Quinny is an autistic character. She's autistic in the show, which is amazing, because so many times you have autistic characters that they never actually want to say that that character is autistic because of such a stigma around autism. But there's so many autistic coded characters because autistic traits make very fun characters. People love the autistic character until they meet an actually autistic person and have to deal with the shutdowns and the meltdowns and the sensory issues of that person. So people love us until they hate us. But I digress. Quinny is played by Chloe Hayden, who is an actually diagnosed autistic person. So this is what we want to see. We want to see actually autistic people playing autistic roles. There's been a lot of negative press around The Good Doctor because Sean isn't played by an actually autistic person. And it shows. I actually personally really liked The Good Doctor, but again, there was always this I actually had to Google, is he actually autistic? Because there was just something that didn't seem quite right. And even Wednesday Addams, who was just absolutely adored in autistic circles. Okay, I tried to Google it. I can't find out if Jenna Ortega, the actress who plays Wednesday, if she actually is autistic or not. There were some Reddit threads saying that she might be, but I didn't see any official news saying decidedly whether or not she is or not. If you know, drop it down below in the comments. I'd like to know that for sure. But just like any disability, it would be nice if media put the actually disabled person in the roles. I was recently watching a Doctor Who episode where there was a little person who was a scientist, and they were just going about their job being a scientist in the Doctor Who episode. The plot point wasn't about them being a little person at all. It was just literally a character doing a job. And that's what we need. A lot of times autistic characters are either side characters that get to be the butt of the jokes, or they're the funny comic relief. And that's not inherently bad, but it's also nice just to have disabled people in roles that aren't necessarily about their disability, but that it's known that it is their disability, so that we see ourselves in media. So that way, when people who know nothing about autism, because let's face it, media is a way that people learn in our culture. And so if they don't know anything about autism, they're not going to point to the autistic character that they see on media in a movie that is a wild caricature of autistic traits that are very narrow and specific, and say, I know what autism is because I've seen a picture of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really excited about this video, and I hope I explained my points well. And until the next one, bye.